Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ankuram IS. Today we are going to start our public administration crash course come test series. So this will be my first lecture on public administration subject on this platform and crash course test series program. I had discussed one introductory thing in the past. My introductory lecture covered what we are going to study in this course. So again, a brief overview I'll give to you for 1 minute. I'll share with you that we are trying to have 300 plus marks in the optional. Our strategy will be, and how it can be done, how to enrich the optional. We had a discussion on various dimensions. And we'll be covering in this course, we are going to cover the important syllabus revision. Syllabus important part will be revising. Especially I'll be filling the conceptual gap, and then I'll help you develop the answer writing skill, because I'll be discussing PYQs also, format of PYQs plus strategy to enrich your writing skill I'll be doing. And with interlinkages we are going to study. Generally students lack how to interlink paper 1 with paper 2 or paper 2 in paper 1, and interlinkages from other parts of the world, etc., from other theories also. Then accumulating study resources, I'll be bringing for you so many materials from here and there, share with you. It will help you prepare, and will give you special attention on paper 2. Paper 2 is generally ignored in civil service teaching, especially by the pol science or public administration or sociology optional teachers. So we'll be having appropriate attention to paper 2, and we'll have a UPSC standard test. Means UPSC asks questions, and you have previous year question, but there must be some question when a new question comes to you, how shall you approach them, how to write them, testing your skills which you have enriched. So test series will be there, and you can interact with me, individual interaction, feedback. I will be preparing the paper, I will prepare the model answer, I will be evaluating your copies, I will be discussing with you how to improvise your studies. Okay, these all things will be covered in our course. Course time is 60 hours. It is 60 hours lecture, and 6 tests will be covered in this 60 hours lecture. 6 tests will be covered. All will be done by me. So now let's have our start of our discussion. Today I'll start with thinkers. Thinkers is a gray area. Then I will pick the unit 1. Next topic I'll take unit 1. So I'll start with thinkers, and I'll enter into the tricky areas of thinker. Okay. So first of all, one thing you have to be clear, that good marks in thinkers means a very good impression in the eyes of examiner. When very good impression in the eyes of examiner, it means you are given better marks in other parts of the paper also. You are writing unit 11's answer or unit 6 answer, unit 10's answer. In those answers, he will give you better marks because your impression is good. So thinkers should be covered properly. There should not be shortcut approach to thinkers, although we are going to cover in short period of time, but you should not take it lightly. Thinkers should be done seriously. If you have any doubt what I am teaching, you can ask me. There is no, you should not hesitate in asking me questions, because once you don't ask, you lose yourself. You have to suffer. Okay. So thinkers, you know, we have there is a from thinkers there can be general questions from thinkers. General questions from thinkers, and there can be specific questions from thinkers. It is a crash course. We have limitation of time. So I have to start abruptly from mid of the topic. Okay. We cannot go into creating intro or something unit 1 and then talking about what is public administration, etc. This course is not for those who are not writing mains. It's for those who are writing mains this time. So generally question can be asked from thinkers, general questions can be asked from thinkers, or specific question can be asked. So when we say general question asked, for example, there can be question from open model, closed model. There has been, UPSC has asked this question earlier, for example. Or there can be universal design theory, situational design theory. There can be classical theory, there can be behavioral theory, there can be scientific management. This is a bit specific also. Scientific management, and administrative management. Okay. This is a bit specific topic, but Taylor on the one side, not just when the question is about scientific management per se, Taylor is the one thinker. You can add the Gilbreth's idea or Henry Gant's idea, some of the points you can mention here, or the Fordism which enhance the idea of scientific management, you can write them. Administrative management theory, like definitely the Fayol, Gulick, Urvik, some of the Willoughby's work, you can write code here. Okay. So it's a general way question can be asked. Now I'll discuss when what will be the difference of these theories when the question is asked from here. And their second can be specific questions from thinkers. Specific questions from thinkers. Suppose if I'll pick I'm listing some of them, like Taylor, Fayol, Gulick and Urvik, Weber, Mayo, Bernard, Mary Parker Follett, McGregor, Argyris. Even they can ask question from Marx, Karl Marx. Or there are other thinkers which are not so prominent, like Waldo's some idea comparison with the Simon, they can ask question. Direct Waldo's question can be asked. But those thinkers which are focusing on the evolution of the discipline of public administration, we will do in chapter 1, unit 1. So from Taylor, what can be different questions? I will pick them. What different questions from Taylor can be asked? I'll pick them. And what can be the answer? What can be suggestive answers for those questions? We'll be highlighting. In this class itself, you will come to know how we are going to study. So there can be specific general questions from the thinkers, and there can be specific questions from thinkers. What can be general question from thinkers? Suppose I say, when the question is from open model, closed model. Let's start our discussion here. There is open model, closed model. So first, generally we write closed model, open model, but I am writing open model first. So closed model is that model whose structure, process, functions, process and methods are different thing, methods, etc., does not vary or not influenced by environment. There can be confusion that it is not possible that environment is not affecting organization. So here organization is influenced by environment, truly, practically, but thinkers don't assume it. So environment E1, environment E1, environment E2, environment E3, environment E1, environment E2, environment E3, environment E4. In all these cases, a particular principle can be applied universally, equally. So if environment is not influencing, you create a structure or principle, function or principle, methods or principle, process or principle. You create principles and you apply them equally everywhere, because environment has no role to play. That means you can apply in India, Indian environment, America, American environment, Cambodia, Cambodian environment, South Africa, South African environment, Bangladesh, its environment. Or environment not playing any role means a small organization, a particular type of environment, large organization, a different type of environment. So either it is a small organization or large organization. As environment is not influencing, principle will be equally applicable. As India, America, environments are different, but environment is not influencing. Therefore, in India or America or New Zealand or South Africa, Cambodia or Bangladesh, Tonga, Tuvalu or other nations equally applied. Manufacturing organization or trading organization, environments are different. Trading organization environment, manufacturing environment are different, but environment not influencing, equally applicable. So closed model assume that when you are writing from the perspective of closed model, so it assumes that environment organization is a closed system. Use of word system is vague, but they use it. Environment is a closed system and organization is a closed system and environment has no role to play. Environment does not influence the system or organization. Therefore, the internal structure, process, function, methods, principles, etc., they remain as it is. They don't change. They can be same. Okay. That is why closed organization, closed model theories, they developed certain theories. We call it universal design theory. So closed model theory, there can be use of word universal design theory. Okay. So they created certain principles, theories. Sorry. The closed model thinkers created certain principles and theories, and they assumed that these principles and theories will be equally applicable everywhere. They assumed it. Now, closed model theory, there will be classical theory, scientific management of Taylor or administrative management or classical organization theory of Fayol, Gully, Kurvik, they will come under closed model. When we say open model assume that organization is an open system. Organization is an open system. Its a structure, function, process, methods, principles are influenced by the environment. Environment is influencing. Environment has a role to play. So these vary with changing environment, or environment has influence over them. Okay. So here environment E1 will not be equals to environment E2, will not be equals to environment E3, will not be equals to environment E4. Therefore, no universal principle possible. No universal principle or theory possible. That environment we say situation, we can also call environment, we can call as situation. So it is a situational design theory. Now, most of the leadership studies, most of the studies on motivation or behavioral theory as it is, they are situational design theory. Now, when you are writing answer, suppose question concerning open model or closed model or universal design theory or situational design theory, classical and behavioral, when you are writing these theories, I'll discuss classical behavioral a bit a different way you have to write. When you are writing a question is open model, closed model, then focus should be, you should write this way. But as the question changes, suppose the question is asked, general question is asked from universal design, situational design, suppose this is the question, then the answers approach will not be, answer should not be in this format. Means it can be one of the points to be written, but this is not the answer format. Universal design theory, then your approach of writing will change. Means here first point will be attempt to construct universal principles. What is universal principles? So administrative science, equal applicability, mathematization, atomism or atomistic approach. One atom varies with another atom. Atomistic approach. Or you can write here the efficiency economy effectiveness is the goal. Triple E, 3E is the goal. This point means when you are writing, yes, you can write one more point here. You can add the, when we talk about equal applicability or environmental factors rejection, then you can add closed model approach. Okay. So you can add one more point here. So closed model as a point you can add. Here, rejection of science. It rejects science. Human behavior or situation at center. Non-mechanical, non-atomistic. It is non-positivist. In a general, you have to write in a general. Because there are some thinkers who tried to develop the positivist or theory in a behavioral approach. That was limitation of behavioral approach, you can say. In general, it's not positivist. Its approach is not positivist. Community group influence. A very important aspect of situational design theory is its perception based on ecological thinking. Ecological perspective. Then here you can write the open model approach. Now, situational design theory, while writing the open model, here you can quote, apart from the behavioral organization theories or situational theories of leadership, motivation, etc. You can quote here human relation theory. Here HRT will come in open model. But when we are talking about the situational design theory, HRT does not come in the circle of the situational design theory. It comes at the periphery, means at the entrance gate of the situational theory. HRT is at the entrance. Not inside, not inner part, not inner circle. Human relation theory. Okay. And as far as the goal objective is concerned, to some extent, organizational efficiency without ignoring human, means efficiency has been important. They did not reject efficiency, effectiveness as their goal. So efficiency or triple E existed silently along with human development. Means human being was focused, but human being was not focused without efficiency economy. Like Chris Argyris, when talks about organizational development, or Simon is trying to develop bounded rationality based decision making, or Likert has a democratic leadership style, participative leadership theory. All are silently talking about use of human resource in the best manner for the development of the organization so that humans can prosper. Most of these scholars of the behavioral approach or situational approach, they recognized that organizational development or growth of the organization depends on growth of the humans. Maybe the focus may be different, but the behavioral, situational or situational design theories never rejected the need for organizational change, the need for organizational improvement from the point of view of the efficiency. They never rejected. Because why organization exists? It exists for the growth, development, so that the members who are part of the organization can also prosper. So if organization does not grow, if there is no efficiency, there is no cost cutting or improvement in the functioning from financial point of view, there is no impact created by organization, then how organization will be able to give incentives to the people who are the members? So incentivization to them is not possible. The growth of the employees is not possible if the organization is failing to achieve triple E goals. So triple E exists, but it's in silent form. In case of HRT, only critics say that HRT is called extension of the human relation theory, can be called the extension of the classical theory. That is why it is called neoclassical approach to organization. So there only we find triple E as the objective visible. In other cases, in studies by other organizational thinkers, it is silent. So situational design theory, you include, means to include not just the situational approach, but also the behavioral approach. Also the behavioral approach. Okay. And definitely when I'll teach you the contemporary theories. So leadership has various contemporary theories. Like in leadership, we have the servant theory of leadership, complex leadership theory, authentic leader, LMX, leader management relationship. I'll discuss about few recent Luthans, Evalio, some new scholars work in field of leadership. I'll discuss so many leadership theories. How these leadership theories are based on human being at the center, or how these leadership theories are ignoring some of the classical dimensions or picking some of the classical formats. This I will be sharing with you, discussing with you how to write answer if the question come from them. Okay. So this is about, suppose writing universal design, situational design, the format will change. When classical theory and behavioral theory comes, you have to mention briefly about, means a general idea of the classical theory. Definitely situational theories work will be there, but you have to specifically mention some of the scholars. Here you should never miss Weber in classical approach. Weber is a classical thinker. So Weber assumed that the characteristics of bureaucracy which he is highlighting, this is universally applicable. Means if these characteristics are applied, the bureaucracy can perform efficiently or in the best manner. Okay. So classical theory, behavioral theory, here you don't have to write all aspects of situational. Maybe this ecological perspective which you are writing here, you may not be writing in this case, in the behavioral theory, may not be. And when scientific management, administrative management theory, these two comes. The scientific management, like Gantt chart is very important development. So Therblick's developed by some others. Not just, you are mentioning Taylor's development, like scientific management, Taylor's 4 principles of scientific management, or development of functional foremanship as an idea, or management by exception. Some of the principles of scientific management, 4 core principles, other related additional principle, adjunct. But you should mention other scholars also, because the question is not directly exactly from Taylor. And those who have contributed in scientific management, their contribution should be highlighted. One sentence, just 7 words, 10 words, 12 words, but you have to write. And administrative management theory, so definitely work of Fayol will be mentioned, Gulick's work will be mentioned, Willoughby's science you should mention. Okay. So administrative management theory, the classical organization theory by Fayol, Gulick, Urvik, etc. This will, when we'll discuss specific, we'll be discussing about them. So there can be question. In case of specific questions, the scholar about whom the question is relating to that question must be asked. Sorry, answer must be written. The supportive examples of the scholars, thinkers can be done. But the core idea will be general approach to answer writing. So general questions may be asked, specific questions may be asked. When the specific question can be asked, this question is more difficult to answer, but more marks fetching. The specific questions more difficult to answer, but more marks fetching. It's not so difficult, but in comparison to general theory, because you have so many things to write, specific thinker-based questions may have very specific thing to write. There you have limitations of writing, therefore a bit difficult in comparison to general theories, but it is more marks fetching. So you must know the concept or the phenomena from where the question has been asked. What happens? The student misassume or misperceive the statement. Question has been asked from somewhere else. Student writes from somewhere else. So there was a question asked by UPSC once. Bureaucracy can exist only where the whole state, bureaucracy can exist only where the whole affairs of state can be removed from common political life of the people. This statement was not from bureaucracy. This statement was from dichotomy suggested by Wilson. So statement is misperceived by students, they write it. Therefore, somehow averaging marks in public administration. Second, tendency to ignore books. I don't say right now you have time to read books, but some standard books must be followed. Like Prasad and Prasad is very prominent, very important. New Horizons, few chapters, very important. New Issues and Perspectives by Mohit Bhattacharya, very important, few chapters. You need to highlight from where what to study, but you have to study those thinkers. Sorry, those books. It's all right, you could not study. I will be helping you, supporting you, giving you some contents, materials to enrich, update. But if you don't go through the content, specific ideas about those theories, thinkers, etc., and question is asked from there, you miss them, you will lose. Write what is asked. Write with the right reference. There is a correct reference point from where the question has been asked. Try to reach that reference and write according to this. Now let's have the discussion on Taylor, starting the specific question. So we'll be starting with Taylor. So Taylor, what different questions are possible? First, simple question from scientific management principles. Relevance, important. A simple question can be asked this way. Second, rise of artificial intelligence. And Taylorism. This is also about significance. Third thing, within the significance, there can be third thing. New public management, NPM, and scope of Taylorism. Okay. Rise of post NPM phenomena and Taylorism. Okay, this scientific management relevance. Now, Taylor and theory of motivation. Ms. Taylor is regarded as the first scholar who emphasized about the economic dimension of motivation. So his theory is called monistic theory of motivation or economic theory of motivation. So monistic theory of motivation, economic theory of motivation. Can we say Taylor's idea was non-humanistic? Was Taylor's idea non-humanistic? Can we call it? Or can we say that Taylorism, like this we have done, like can we say Taylorism declined human values in the organization? Means Taylorism rejected human values in the organization. In organization. Just right now I am pointing out the topics which we have to discuss, and then I'll take the brief points from them, and 3, 4, 5 points from each of them. When you are writing, you will be able to answer the question from various dimensions. Okay. So this part is relating to Taylor and theory of motivation. Then there can be, there can be C, Taylor and leadership. The Taylor and leadership, the autocratic leader, functional leader. Here, Mary Parker Follett's relationship with Taylor, how functional leader of Taylor is significant. Taylor too much specialization. This too much specialization and rise of artificial intelligence, they are similar. So I will discuss about the relationship of Taylorism with the rise of artificial intelligence. Okay, and what impact it is going to create, what it did in the past, and how it is going to impact today. I'll discuss about it. So Taylor's too much specialization, that relationship with AI. Can we call Taylor's idea extended, means Taylor's idea opened the doors for extensive research, which led towards the rise of computers. And today's artificial intelligence, or dominance of the machines and tools, or replacing machines and tools for humans, is it the Taylor's, you say thanks to Taylor's, or the Taylor's invention? No, this part I will be taking up, analyzing them. So Taylor's too much specialization, and the last part, criticism. Although we will be covering criticism from here and there when we are discussing topics, criticism will be covered. But here we will be very focused about the criticism, like workers one, criticism, Marxist. In Marxist, we have Antonio Gramsci's criticism. Okay. So this way we are going to cover Taylorism, or the idea of Taylor. So let's start with scientific management principle, relevance and importance. So before writing about its relevance and importance, let's have, when the question is general relevance, let's have 4 principles of scientific management. So principles of scientific management. Four principles are there: development of true science of work, scientific selection, and progressive development of the workman. Bringing together of science of work. This you must always, whenever you are going to, suppose I'll teach you in answer writing technique. When you are going to write answer about Taylor, a rough work you should do. Like what different things Taylor has contributed towards. So 4 principles you list down. Functional foremanship you list down. Or art of cutting metals you list down. Shop management theory you list down. Or the pay system, you say performance based pay, the not unit but unit based work pay plan. So these things you list out. Or management by exception, you list them. So many things you list out, and try to find that how your answer needs them, where you can fit those contents. So these should be in mind. While writing answer, you should jot it down. Brainstorming, when you do, jot it down. Very simple, short, 1-2 words you write down. 10-12 words you write down. Question paper somewhere else, you write down. Backside, rough work, you write down, and then start writing. So when you have written down, you know, so these things must be in mind. So bringing together of science of work, this is first. And number 2, the scientifically selected and trained men. Number 2 means bringing 1 and 2 together. And 4th is division of work and responsibility. Taylor has said that they are not separate, they are same, and one is related to another. First, develop the best way of doing task, one best way. Okay, so one best way, OBW first. Second, based on person's aptitude, ability, education, past training, select the person for that particular job. And after selecting that person for that particular job, train him in this. Train in the one best way. Means science of work, that is one best way. This is the part of the training. Progressive development, that means training. So this is part of the training. Without developing one best way, training cannot be given, or progressive development is not possible. Scientific selection must be there, then one best way training must be there, and worker has tendency to follow the method they are following for long time. Like you have a cycle and you purchase a car. So you are having a cycle, you purchase car for efficiency. If you don't know driving the car is of no use. And you have learned the driving the car, but you are using cycle. Then the purchase of car and the driving training taken, both will be waste. So car, one best way, or better performance, efficiency. Learning the driving, progressive development. If they don't, both do not come together, means workers generally used to perform work by method M, second worker method M2, third worker method M3. Now for all worker, universally for all worker, a method M0 was developed, best method. When worker does not accept that, it is waste. So bringing them together, and for this he talks about inherent to this idea is mental revolution. Bring them together, otherwise it will be waste, mental revolution. Then he says, problem does not remain from the side of the worker. Management is lazy. Management does not want to perform. Management does not think that the factory's work is their work. They want to stay in cabin. They don't want to visit the workshop, don't want to come into dust, dung, etc. So management must take the responsibility. Management must perform their own task. So divide responsibility, and give responsibility to managers too. Here he talks about division of work and responsibility. It's not false division of work. It's different from that. So they are interrelated phenomena, you know. Now how it is relevant, means what kind of elements are there which makes Taylor's idea relevant today? In what way it seems to be relevant? So its relevance, one, let's examine Taylor's relevance in the context of AI, artificial intelligence. The UPSC is asking question from artificial intelligence in different paper, and it's going to impact society greatly. So artificial intelligence related question can be asked in public administration too. So let's have understanding of how Taylorism and AI interrelated. What are the characteristics of AI? Number A, too much precision, or too much spatialization, first aspect. Number B, a mechanistic world. A mechanistic world means man is subordinated replaced by machine, computers, robots, machine, computers, robots. Okay. Non emotional, unemotional attitude of work, and its outcome is increased efficiency, increased very high declining employment. Its impact is declining employment. It is said that in coming 20 years, AI will be consuming almost 30% of the human being's employment, and more than 50% of several types of employment. So it is assumed, and debate discussions going on this. So too much precision, too much specialization. Let us talk about what Taylor had emphasized. Taylor's one best way, breaking the work into the minutest part, and with the help of qualified worker, coming to conclusion that what can be the best way to perform that task. So one best way, Taylor's one best way, I am writing here how Taylor related Taylor's idea, this point. One best way, functional foremanship. Okay. Mechanistic world, man is subordinated, replaced by the machine, computers, robots, etc. What Taylor emphasized, Taylor said that no, he conducted 30,000 plus experiments with tools, and he developed lots of processes as well as tools and methods to perform the task. And list of them are there. So Taylor not just developed precise and specialized way of doing, he wanted to replace humans by machine. Means his focus was on the mechanistic side of the organization, and for this purpose he spent 26 plus years. So his art of cutting metals, focus on machine, focus on machine and tool, and he wanted that the worker should perform as per those rules and methods. Those who are diverting or deviating from the method suggested, this will be punished. He used carrot and stick approach. Okay. And third dimension, Taylor's idea, how Taylor was non-human, anti-human, that So Taylor's approach was non-human. How? He made a worker cog in the machine. He took away from them the spirit of something created or creation. He ignored the human's need for psychological growth. So Taylor is criticized as non-human. He ignored the emotional side of the organization. So Taylorism here. And truly, Taylor's work brought efficiency. Second industrial revolution, that was the First World War period. Second industrial revolution was the product of Taylorism. Not just America. In America, Fordism, other ideas, not just America, even Russia. Hitler's Germany practiced, or Lenin's Russia, Stalin's Russia practiced it. Japan used those techniques and methods. So Russians used, Japanese used, Germans used to bring drastic change in the productivity. So production was growing because of Taylorism. So Taylorism's outcome was increased efficiency, high level of efficiency, and as a result, employment came down. When machines started replacing humans, large scale cut in the jobs, large scale curtailments, retrenchment took place, that you know. So Taylorism and AI seems to be similar. But what is different? How can we say? Do we find some differences in Taylorism and the artificial intelligence? Do we find some difference? There are lots of differences in Taylorism and artificial intelligence based revolution. Lots of difference. AI, here I am writing AI, here we write Taylor. It is humanless. It is human guided. AI is humanless, means it is totally replacing human being. But Taylorism is not totally replacing human being. He gives a great role to the managers. Okay, so human guided. Number 2, objective not clear. Just in the field of computer science, robotics, the advancements and inventions, innovation has taken place. AI is a spontaneous expression of human beings' creation, and its impact is severe. It is not having clear-cut objective or not having specific domain. Anywhere, wherever there is an invention, means AI emerged, now you use anywhere. So clarity of the objective is not there. Taylorism is specific and clear. How specific? Industry. And what clarity? Efficiency, economy, effectiveness. This clarity is there. AI existing without this clarity means the scientists have developed robotics. And they say robotics can be used anywhere. Apply in education, in medical science, conducting precise surgeries, or you ask question, they will solve your problems, or industrial manufacturing, production, anywhere it can be used. They don't have a clear-cut domain, specific domain. First invention took place, and then its application started. Taylor did not do the experiments without any objective. He wanted to bring efficiency. He wanted to cut down the cost. He wanted humans to perform better with the help of new tools and methods. So his objectives were clear. And he wanted to apply, he said that America is passing through industrial anarchy and I have to bring this anarchy into governance. So Taylor had a specific objective and efficiency, economy, effectiveness is a goal, clear objective. So Taylor shifted from anarchy to rule. AI is heading towards anarchy is one very important thing. Taylor created anarchical industrial environment. He created some rule-based, logic-based, technique methods-based, rational approach to management. But anarchy is leading towards, AI is leading towards anarchy. So objective not clear, leading towards Taylorism shift from anarchy to rational approach to management. This was a shift. Taylor, despite criticism, Taylor cared for human being. Taylor had care for human being. Taylor always cared for workers. It is different that despite his care, his theory proved anti-worker. It is different thing. Okay. So AI and Taylorism. Now, this part of scope, relevance, importance we did. Second is NPM and scope of Taylorism. How it's a small idea, but important to discuss. NPM and Taylorism. So NPM has twin pillars. Twin pillars. One, first, public choice theory, and second, neo-Taylorism. So neo-Taylorism rests on Taylorism. How? We have to understand this. Taylor differential piece rate plan. Taylor's differential piece rate plan. You can recall, if you have studied, you can recall expected work performance level. We call it EWP level. It is called EWP level. Okay. It is below EWP, above EWP. It is 1.0, 1.25, 0.75. This. So it is work level. This shows time. Now, if someone is performing at this level, expected work performance level, standard wage plus bonus he will receive. Higher wage, if above EWP level, higher wage plus bonus. Below EWP level, lower wage, no bonus. Means if you assume the standard wage, suppose per unit 10 rupees, market standard. So if he achieves that EWP level, he will be given 10 rupees market rate plus bonus will be given. Maybe every day 1 rupee, 2 rupees, whatever. If he performs more than expected work performance level, then he will be paid 12 rupees or 15 rupees per unit plus bonus. If he is not able to achieve per day, suppose 10 units per day, he is producing 7 units per day, then his wage rate will be 8 rupees per unit, 7 rupees per unit. So differential piece rate, first piece rate per unit, and second differential varies with the production level, varies with the expectation level. So what component this differential piece rate plan had? Component number one, individual wage, not group wage. Individual wage, not group wage. And there was a slogan, pay the men, not the position. No, he says pay the men, not the position. There used to be earlier, workers used to come in a group, 5, 7, 6, 8 groups. And one worker claimed that I am the leader. So we'll do this work. We want means per day, or we want 7 workers, will take 2,000 rupees per day. And that leader, I am the leader, I will be taking 500. Rest 1,500 distributed among others. It happens in a catering field. Chief chef, he takes more, but the group takes the wage per day. This happened. He said, no, don't pay the position, pay the person. So individually pay, not in the group. Okay. So individual responsibility. And second, differential pay. Component number 2. Differential pay. Pay as per performance. Pay as per performance. That is, evaluate, then pay. For this, he developed expected work performance level as a concept. And third, award and punishment. We call it carrot and stick. We call it carrot and stick. No? This is differential piece rate plan, its component. Now, how this becomes a neo-terrorist idea? What is neo-terrorist idea? Neo-terrorist idea, let us understand. There is a concept called MOU. If we study the idea called MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, there is a concept called MOU. What happens in MOU? So the manager, government or department They come in an agreement. This agreement fixes target, fixes target. Manager gets autonomy. Government side non-interference. Government side non-interference. Non-interference. This target has three components: individual responsibility, performance evaluation, and third word, award and punishment. We also call it incentivization, award and punishment. Now, how it is Neo-Taylor idea? MOU is one of the component of managerial autonomy of NPM. NPM has 5 components. Managerial autonomy is one of them. How managerial autonomy is executed? You know that in India also we have concept of MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, signed by manager of PSU with government. So manager signs agreement with government. Mutually they fix the target. Management proposes the target. Government says okay. Agreement is done. Agreement is done. This agreement is MOU. Manager government signs an agreement where target is decided mutually. Government agrees that they will give autonomy to manager. They get autonomy, and bureaucracy will not interfere. Politicians will not interfere. Manager will be allowed to perform. This target has 3 components. Individually, the manager will be responsible. Down the line, he will fix responsibility of various subordinates. Everyone's performance will be evaluated. Like we have MOU Excellence Award given. And award and punishment, like performance-based pay, performance-related pay, PRP we call it. We will study NPM at this point. What Taylor's idea implemented in PSU in new format, this Taylor's idea. Differential piece rate plan has individual responsibility, individual wage, not group wage. Differential pay means evaluate, achieved EWP, not achieved EWP, above, below, evaluation. And award and punishment, carrot, stick. Standard wage plus bonus, higher wage plus bonus award, and low wage, no bonus, punishment. So this NPM carries the concept of Neo-Taylorism. NPM carries the concept of Taylor in the form called Neo-Taylorism. So Taylor once again becomes relevant. MOU is a successful concept. Now, apart from PSUs, government has started signing MOUs on the general administration matters. Pilot project had been done by the government of Odisha. It is expected that Karnataka will soon start this model. That secretary or joint secretary, they will be a particular project. Secretary or joint secretary will sign. Secretary will sign it. He will delegate it to joint secretary, or directly joint secretary will sign agreement with government. In matters of execution of a particular project, MOU will be signed. So performance related pay, award and punishment, performance evaluation, and individually making responsible, it can bring revolution in the governance. So NPM, despite various limitations, NPM has one achievement, that it tried to make bureaucracy accountable within the domain of the task they have been given. Okay. And this concept of responsibility of the manager has not been rejected even by new public service. New public service talks about democratic citizenship, but it has not rejected that people should not be made accountable for the task. Managerial accountability has been an inherent part of new public service. How, we shall discuss. Okay. The second part of the Taylor's relevance. Rise of post NPM phenomena and Taylorism. It's better first we do the new public service, Moore's concept, new Weberian state, new public governance. We do this and then we discuss about this point. Okay. Coming on to B part, Taylor and theory of motivation. So here, if you have any doubt till what I have taught here, do you have any doubt? As I said, you can write in the chat box. If you have any doubt, any question, you can write in the chat box. I'll be replying it. Chat box is private, so your question will be visible to me. Everyone will not be able to see the question. 1 minute I am giving. Any doubt here? Otherwise, I'll move further. Okay, so I assume that you people have no problem till here. Now, this point, Taylor and theory of motivation. There can be question like number A. Question type. Taylor's ideas ignored the human side of the enterprise, which was later improvised by subsequent scholars. Comment. Second way, scientific management theory was physiological organization theory. Third way. Taylor was sympathetic towards workers, but he killed the human spirit of a workman. Examine. These can be potential questions or the topic which I say from where the question can be asked. Write down these statements. Okay. Now, how Taylorism took away the human side and developed a theory called monistic theory of motivation. So, how it is, how monistic theory economic theory economic man model first thing, number A, Taylor assumed man is motivated by money. Taylor's assumption. Second thing, he introduced economic award and punishment, differential piece rate system or differential piece rate plan. Number C, ignored human emotional psychological dimension. How? So here point number Roman small 1, too much specialization. Man becoming cog in the machine. Number 2, humans lost independence in In choosing tools, methods, techniques, etc., they came same point continue. Roman 3, they strict supervision, control by management, means under managerial domination. Monotony in the work, tried to separate working community into atomistic human. Number 6, search for higher wage was detrimental to quality of life of workers. Gramsci's criticism of Taylor. This point is very simple. Man motivated by money, Taylor's assumption. Introduced economic reward and punishment. So carrot and stick approach. This he brought in case of differential piece rate plan. Then ignored human psychological dimension. What are these human psychological dimension? So a worker when was hammering, he was hammering all the day. Or cutting seat, one worker cutting seat all the day. Became cog in the machine, plus it brought monotony in the work. Human lost independence. Earlier, workers used to pick their tools. I like this hammer. It is my hammer. It is my cutter. Or some tool, favda, it's my. But now management will decide what method should be followed, what technique should be followed. New tools should be followed. This tool should not be followed. They lost independence there. Strict supervision and control by management. Now they are under manager supervision. Don't do this way, don't do that way, do this way. Before Taylorism, workers had independence, opportunity to do things the way they want to do. Monotony in the work we discussed. Tried to separate working community into atomistic human. Means he said no groups, no group wage payment, no organized bargaining. Trade unions became against Taylor because of that. Trade unions became against Taylor because Taylor's developments, Taylor's improvisation, Taylor's reform done away with the scope of management sitting with the trade unions. So he structured the piece rate plan, payment system. He brought everything organized. This was also the reason. But one reason was trade unions criticized Taylor. One reason was that the workers now became individual person. They could not come in group. They could not get the group payment. Individual wage payment system came. Human being isolated from group sometimes became rival of one another in search for more wage. Then search for higher wage were detrimental to workers started for more production per unit payment. Overtime. If I work overtime 4 hours, I'll be getting more per unit. It became detrimental to quality of life. They started losing quality of life. And Gramsci's criticism will separately study. So these are monistic approach. Taylor himself was a worker. Now you can take a positive conclusion. Here he ignored human side of the enterprise. Number one. Second, physiological theory of organization, not a psychological theory. It's just body movements. How different way a work can be performed. Postures, pose. Not antherblics later on. So not the psychological side. It is said. So March and Simon criticized classical theory as physiological organization theory, which ignore the psychological side of the enterprise organization. Taylor was supportive towards worker. Taylor wanted higher wage to be paid to workers. So you perform scientifically, follow scientific techniques, methods, you will be performing more. More you perform, more wage you will get. Taylor himself was a worker once. So Taylor had sympathy for the workers. But despite that, Taylor ignored these aspects. This side. Now you may write negatively, but it's better to defend Taylor in this context. Scholars must be defended. So wrong to your answer conclusion, wrong to conclude Taylor as anti-human. You are not using these words, monistic theory, etc., etc. Not using these words. Okay. You are just writing wrong to conclude anti-human. How? Number A, mental revolution. Number B, removing worker manager conflict. No, when he brought the differential piece rate plan or philosophy of management, shop management, conflict removed. It is also humanistic part. Number C, overall efficiency in industry also means prosperity of workers. Here, one more thing you can add here in this point, economic model, exploitation of worker took place. Okay. So managers used to keep lion's share with them and a small share was distributed among workers. You can add this point here. I missed point number 8. Managers exploited workers. Okay, you can add. Now here. So overall efficiency of industry also means prosperity, means more efficiency of industry, more workers will get, more developed they will be. Then scientific selection of workers, training of workers, these two progressive growth of workers, you see, Taylor's idea led towards a second industrial revolution, economy of whole of the world, and social transformation because of that economy took place. So Taylorism, industrial revolution part 2, overall world economy rising, social upliftment because of Taylorism. Taylorism supported reforms and innovation beyond calendar. Means you not one time, it's always going beyond calendar. Even after 100 years, Taylorism will be helping some new ideas like Taylorism AI fitting, Taylorism NPM fitting, post NPM developments, Taylorism somehow fitting. So post-industrial society relevance of Taylorism, AI, NPM, post-NPM, club, and you can write. Okay. So this way you can defend Taylor with the help of these points. If any doubt in these points, you can ask question. Okay, defense of Taylor written. Now you see these points we had done. B part, monistic theory, economic theory. This part we have done. Was Taylor's idea non-humanistic? We can write. Taylor rejected human values in organization. Here you can add few more points. Was it true? I say it's not true. So apart from the points you can pick from here, in defense of Taylor. So ignored human values, you can write these points. Like he assumed man motivated by this part, or he tried to separate workers here, or he provided for strict control. Means here brotherhood could not come, superior subordinate relationship emerged. So this point. Quality of life suffered. Gramsci's criticism on the same line. When talk about value, independence taken away from workers. Workers became cog in the machine. These points should be highlighted. Okay, white line I have made. You can write. So ignored, you can write these points. But I say no. Why not? Because Taylor wanted change, reform. So very important point, that Taylor was fed up with the management trying to have superior position without doing anything. Workers distrusting manager, manager distrusting workers. Taylor wanted to fix this issue. So he brought changes, differential piece rate system. Distrust was over. So value came. He said managers are doing nothing. Workers are ready to accept things. Managers don't want to come down to workshop, stay there, supervise. So he wants to make managers also accountable, responsible, human values. He says conflict of interest should be resolved. And by lower production, nobody is benefiting. If the workers and managers both change their mindset, especially workers change their mindset that if I produce more, I will also be benefiting. This mental revolution, that cooperation, harmony can bring prosperity. It's a very significant human value. So Taylor had interest in inculcating values within the premise of the industrial working environment. And these values were definitely in the larger good of the society, not just workers, because he said that higher profit of the industry will be benefiting not only to manager, but also to workers and to consumers. And this happened. The global industrial changes impact on employment and increase in productivity, decreasing prices of products, which had spiraled during post-World War period. Taylorism rescued these situations. So Taylorism was not against human values, although Taylorism was applied by managers, industrialists in such a way that it lead towards exploitation of the workers. But Taylor did not intend this. Taylor's intentions was not such. Taylor's philosophy, Taylor's contexts, Taylor's prescriptions were not anti-human or anti-value. Clear? So this thing you can write in Taylor's and human value, this part. Okay. So Taylorism question can be asked like, what you need to do? You have to draw the line, like first chalk out the topics as I have done. We'll be doing this way, picking the topics. In next class, I will be discussing the previous year question also. So after finishing Taylor, I will be picking the previous year question from Taylorism. Be ready with that. I will be making formatting of this. I will raise the points. I will make brief discussion. I will try to make clear regarding concepts. If you have certain doubts, any doubt concerning this, you can ask question. Your questions will be resolved. This way we shall move. For today, it was introductory class, or first class you say, not introductory, first class it was. So with the passage of time, our speed will go up. In thinkers, we will have a pause, but in other parts, we will be speeding up. So for today, it's enough. In one more thing, our classes will be 3 days a week initially. With the passage of time, it will be 4 days a week, so that you get time to prepare your GS, essay, etc. So 3 days class. The class days will be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So class days will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And class timing will be evening. Today it was initial class. Maybe next class also I take morning, but general class timing will be evening. (6:30 p.m.) to 8:30 p.m. As per the comforts and demands, maybe this timing may be changed, but decision will be mine. Final decision I will be taking. Okay. Thank you for watching the session. See you in the next class that is scheduled on next, means coming Monday. See you.